Have you ever wondered how good players win the Champions League? Champions League is the most important club tournament of football in the world. But have you ever wondered how the best teams in Europe do to win it? Well, we will give you a series of tips and suggestions to achieve it. Come and welcome to World of Goal. To win the Champions League, you need to transfer and get players. You have two ways of signing players if you want to. Transfer and on loan. Transfer. To carry out there must be an agreement between the two clubs. In addition to the player's consent, good players are there. The seller agrees with the buyer a certain amount of money in concept of transfer, and the buyer obtains the federative rights of the players, agreeing with him a new contract. Those players maybe we will have a lot of future in the world of football. Well, okay. On loan, you have an agreement of two clubs. But if your team couldn't sign great players like them, your club have to sign them on loan. Young players usually are signed on loan because they can't play enough minutes on his team. For example, if Colo-Colo had signed those players on loan, those players will be a better players in the world of football. Thank you. Next.
Your goal is to reach the Champions League. To achieve this, there are several ways. In this, we will do it throughout La Liga.
First, you must have a Spanish football team registered to enter La Liga. Then you need to consider how good your players are, technical team, and other factors that may improve your performance in La Liga. If you have the best players in Spain, your team will be the best in La Liga. Having difficult odds, you will have to worry about your team. If you inform yourself about they well as, you will have an advantage over them. Try not to lose the first La Liga matches. If you had won those games, you would have been more likely to be in the top 4. How last advantage tries to score the most goals, especially in the matches you will be visiting. So, if you win or are in the top 4, you qualify for the Champions League.
Other method to reach the Champions League is winning the Europa League. So let's go.
This can be achieved by having an acceptable performance during the year. If you are in 5th, 6th or 7th place in the league, you will qualify for the Europa League. Although of course there are distinctions. If you are in 6th or 7th, you will qualify for the previous round before the tournament as such. If you are 5th, you will go directly to the group stage. The previous rounds are usually against teams coming from lower level leagues, yet it is not necessary to be trusted because it is 2 previous rounds that you must overcome in case you do not stay in the 5th position. If you win in the previous rounds, you will qualify for the group stage. If you get to the underperforming group stage, you might not yet pass in the competition. It takes a good performance to keep moving forward, so it is essential that the status of the team is optimal. If you perform well, you could go through that phase and go far. If they stay as better third parties, they won't move on the next phase. In order to advance, we require to stay at least in the second location of our group. It is also not necessary to get first, since our opponent in the next round will be defined by a draw. If they had been third in a Champions League group, they would have played in this tournament as well. This will be added in the draw of the round of 32, So there is a chance that we will face an opponent who comes from our same tournament or who comes from the Champions League. The next phase of the tournament is by direct elimination, although it is double match, so we cannot afford to lose in any case. If you pass the round of 32, you will reach the round of 16. It is in the semi-final stage where you see the strongest teams of the tournament, or the ones that have had the most luck in it, so it is feasible to start thinking about success. If you pass quarterfinals, you will dream of reaching the final. If you reach the final in bad fitness, you will not win. It has passed before. Due to an excessive effort in previous matches, the campaigns of great teams are unable to materialize being champions. So we must balance the energy expenditure of our team as long as they have an optimal recovery and are in a position to win a final. If you win the final, you automatically qualify for the next year's Champions League. Congratulations, we managed to enter the most important club tournament in the world. So, if they had tried harder, they wouldn't have needed to go through this tournament. In the Spanish league, there are 4 direct places to the Champions League. With a little more effort, it could have been possible to get that 4th place. If the season had been worse, they would not have arrived in the Europa League at least. The Spanish league is also one of the ones that offer the most places to international tournaments in all Europe. So staying out of one is difficult if your team is more than decent. If you had intended, you could have made the final play in China. It's a terrible idea, but the extra money would be worth it. Maybe.
Tutorial about how to win the Champions League. You must make tactics and analyze each team that you will face in the Champions, such as their players and the team's style of play. Take care that your players are good every game, because if they are bad, they will not give the performance you expect. If you do not take care about doing an arduous training in confidence and physicality, you lose the Champions League. During the group stage, you should take care about the points that you will be getting and also that the matches at back and forth. In other words, you will have to 6 games. In the group stage, we will also have to know that only the first and the second teams of the group. If you manage to pass the group stage, you will reach the round of 16.
In the role on the system we play, white the team they will be dropped. In this phase, most teams are very good, so you should double your effort in your tactic and analysis. In this way, you will reach on the quarters finals with your white the toes the same process. If you two move for quarters, is why Herdrin reached at first. After on the quarterfinal, you will reach the semifinals, where after winning you will reach a grand final. If you follow on the advice and have you is the tutorial, you will win the champions at the competition league.